Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, The Appalachian Home. So in today's video, I'm going to be making this wooden door hanger. This is going to be for Christmas. I'm starting to work on some Christmas orders. So I thought you guys would really like to see how to make one of these. This is pretty simple. I'm just cutting out the wood shape and using some simple greenery and bows. So I'm going to show you all the materials I used and we'll go ahead and get started. So first I'm using this wooden cutout. This is a wooden ornament shape, and I cut this out of 1/2 inch plywood, and then I just sanded around all of the edges and made it really smooth. I actually drew this pattern in Inkscape, and then I transferred that over to Cricut, and I cut out this white paper template first. I had to slice some areas and tape this together, but then I just placed it over my plywood and drew a pattern and cut that out. First used a jigsaw to cut out around this shape, and then I'm going to go back with my bandsaw and actually cut out very close to the lines that I've drawn just to get a more accurate cut. Also, after I finished cutting this out, I took a sander and really sanded all of the corners and edges really well so there was no splinters and everything was really smooth. I also used a drill press and drilled a hole here in the top. You can use a drill to do this. So these are all the materials that we're going to need. So I used this white chalk paint, but I would not recommend this. I would just use a regular interior paint to paint this plywood. And also bought this red satin finish spray paint to do my letters, but I ended up using something totally different. I'll show you in just a second. But I did, however, like this thread that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I got two different colors. I'm going to be using the one on the right for this particular wreath today. I also got these red berry stems from Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off, and also these pine cones as well. So I'm going to be putting those on the wreath along with the bow. Okay, so I have spray painted this and it is still drying, so I'm not going to put anything on this yet. I'm going to let it dry for just a bit longer. But while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and make the ribbon. So I think I'm going to be using this one today. Okay, so how I do it, I just fold under a piece of ribbon. And I leave enough room for some tails, so I just want some short tails here. But I fold in a piece and I grab the middle, making sure to leave enough room for my bow. So this is about a 4-inch long piece of ribbon. Now I'm going to take the other piece and just fold this under. Make sure these are equal on each side. So this is about 4 inches and this is about 4 inches. And then I'm just going to keep folding this under, making sure all of these are the same length. Okay, so I have went back and forth making loops. I have about 5 loops on each side. So I'm just going to pull down the tails like this, and I'm taking some floral wire and I'm just going to wrap around my bow. Now you just want to start flooping out your bow and fix your tails. Mine's a little bit longer than the other one, so I'm going to fix that here in just a minute. But you just want to floof out your loops until you're happy with the way that it looks. I went ahead and I've spray painted my sign and I've let it dry. I had to use several coats of that spray paint, so I would just use interior paint. But now I'm going to weather this sign. I'm using some Glidden dark brown paint. This is in the color walnut, and I'm also using a dry paintbrush to do this. I'm just getting a little bit on this paintbrush and drying it off on a paper towel just to get most of the paint off, and then I'm just going to dry brush some streaks and strokes onto this sign. There's some areas that I get a little bit dark at first, but you can go back and fix those with the white paint. You can also take the tip of a foam brush, put some paint on there and kind of dry it off, and just go back and dab some lines through that dark area, and it'll lighten it up and look more natural. Okay, so now I have a weathered looking piece of wood. So now I'm going to let this dry, and then we will be ready to go back and put on our lettering. I'm going to go cut out a stencil with my Cricut, and then I'll probably just be painting that on there. If you want to find the Merry Christmas Y'all image, it is actually in Cricut's Design Space images, and I'm using some Oramask 813 to cut this out as stencil vinyl. I'll leave a card up above to give you some videos you can watch if you want to see how I cut out some stencils. Before I stencil the lettering, I'm just temporarily placing these stems and bow so that I know exactly where to place the stencil so that none of the letters are covered up by all the greenery and the bow. Okay, now I'm just going to move this off until we get this painted. Before I stencil on that red, I'm just going over this with a white coat of paint, a similar color to what is on the sign. That's going to seal all the edges around my stencil to keep that bright red paint from leaking through there, and it really does make a difference. I suggest doing this if you're doing any kind of stenciling. So here's the paint I'm going to be using. I'm actually using a Waverly semi-gloss paint. This is in the color Crimson. I think I got this at Walmart a long time ago, and I'm using just a makeup sponge to stencil with today. Now I have let everything dry really well. You may even want to wait overnight before putting your sealer on there, but I'm using polyacrylic. This is in a satin finish, so it shouldn't turn out really glossy. But I'm going over the whole sign, and even on the backs and on the sides. This is going to be an outdoor sign, so you want to make sure to seal all around every side. Okay, so now I have everything sealed. Also have this side painted and sealed. And now we're ready to attach our bow and greenery. I went ahead and adjusted this bow a little bit. It was a little too big for this, so I just brought it down to 3 loops on each side and then a loop in the middle. Then I have my greenery. I wrapped it to kind of attach it together with some floral tape. So I'm going to be using my hot glue gun and a staple gun to attach all of these. Okay, so these are really good and stable. I'm gonna go ahead and add the bow. I'm just gonna go in with my stapler and staple the bow down. Then I'll go back in with my hot glue and glue all of this down. Okay, and there you have it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing how to make this really cute Christmas door hanger, and this gives you some early ideas for Christmas. I will leave all the products I used in this video down in the description box so you guys can go to those, or at least know which kind and colors that I used. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope to have more of these out for you guys soon, and I will see you guys in the next video.